Hey Bookworms, we're going to do our weekly whimsy today. I have got my acrylics out, so I'm going to tell you what I got. We got a light blue that's metallic, dark green, light green, burnt umber, dark brown, or burnt umber? Yes, burnt umber. Like double say, hold on. Burnt sienna, I'm sorry. That's the burnt umber. I always get this confused. Burnt something, right? We burn a lot of colors, I guess. Okay. So I'm going to do the forest, the Sherwood forest, and I am going to do just a wash of color first with my acrylic. I was debating on what I wanted, if I wanted to do like tape off, but I don't think I'm going to. Okay, so I've got my brushes here. I'm going to dip in my water and get my brush a little damp, and then I'm going to pick up my metallic blue, and I'm going to go over the whole thing, but I need to water it down. So I start at the top so that way I can sort of get it lighter as it goes down. I want the whole thing painted blue, like a really light blue. It's part of the reason I use the metallic. I feel like they're more sheer. Okay, so there's our light blue all over. And then I'm going to go ahead and start putting in, and this is, I'm working on wet now. So some of this will bleed a little bit, which I'm good with. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of these leaves in here. And I'm using my flat brush here. And you can see I'm just sort of pressing. My paper is bubbling on me a little bit. So the nice thing about the booklet when we go to put those in there is that it holds everything, sort of pushes everything down. So now everything that I'm doing now has almost like a sheen to it because I have that metallic underneath it. So if you've got metallic paints, they're really fun to use underneath. And you can see I'm not like doing anything super fancy. I'm just sort of pressing and pulling to make the leaf shapes in similar areas where I already have those drawn. I'm going to go up in here a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up a decent amount of paint this time because I don't want it as watered down. I want a deeper, darker. For the foliage down here, I want it to be a little more dark. And I've got my tracer here where I can see it. To use as inspiration. Okay. And get some big leaves through here. I'm running, I do need a little water. It's getting a little dry on me. little bit more. A few more leaves over this way. Okay. And then I'm going to put a few back in the background back here just by dotting my brush. All right. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see sort of all the leaves, the shape of the leaves there. Okay. So you can see these ones are more intense. I want those a little darker. All right. So now I'm going to let some of that dry. I'm going to get some brown in here. I'm just going to dab it. I've got a decent amount of water on my brush, and I'm dabbing to get sort of some texture in there. Okay. Let's move that path out a little bit. All right, I like that. So there is our path, and then I'm going to add this reddish brown burnt sienna. I'm going to do this as my tree. Just remember, trees get thicker as they go down. And lighter as they go back. Okay. And I've got one over here. I'm adding more trees than there were in the original here. I want it to be a little more heavy forested. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that for now. I'm going to add some more branches up in here into the leaves that we did. Shouldn't have rinsed my brush out yet. Oh, that's sort of thick. Let's see if I can, yep, I was able to pick that up a little bit. A little bit more up in here. I like that better. I'll bring this one up a little bit more. And I'm going to use my brush for the light green here, and I'm going to add more leaves to the tops of the trees with this bright green the same way I did before. And then I'm going to watered it down a little bit, and I want to add some foliage in the background here between the trees. It's pretty light. There we go. I like it. I'm gonna add a little more up in here. The spaces between, oops, but I want it pretty watered down. So I don't want to cover up my leaves. So just add a little more green here and there. All right. I like it. I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I keep washing my brush and don't need to. I'm going to add a little bit of the light green down in here between the leaves on the floor of the forest. And then I do want to add, let me get some more of my darker green. I want to add a little bit more leaves on the left side there. Okay, I like that better. All right, and then I'm going to add a little bit of texture to the path here, and I think I'll be pretty happy with that. So I'm going to add a little bit of almost like a brown green there. I'm going to do it just along the edges. So I just mix some of my dark green and the brown. And I'm just tapping. I'm going to do it on this side too. There we go. All right. And I was going to keep it like that. I'm not going to add any ink this time. I sort of like the washed out with the blue metallic underneath. I don't think you guys can probably see that. It's not real intense, but it just gives a little bit of a sheen. I think that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to add a little bit of the dark brown just on some of my trees down at the bottom here to give them a little more depth. I think I like that better. There we go. I do like that better. Make those pop a little more. So there's our Sherwood Forest. I really like that one. That one's fun. Sort of like fairy tale-ish looking. Watercolor almost. Hope you guys like it. And it's a little hard to see with the sheen of the light, I know. All right. So that's a fun little easy one. This one's sort of meditative. I feel like a lot of patterns, and it's easier than the people for sure. All right, I look forward to seeing your guys's. We're almost done. We've only got a couple left for our weekly whimsies, and you guys will all be getting your new subscription boxes here. Ship date is no later than the 15th of September. Yeah, we'll be starting our new fall book here soon. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing your weekly whimsies and the rest of your projects. Bye.